something is not working, even though it is great and I love doing it, it's gone.
So I want to try and extrapolate the key. So you're saying the biggest mistake was having Clown go dormant, but the key lesson there obviously is what you've learned from your career from that. So what's, trying to think of someone that's in a situation, if they have got, whether it's a company, a project, something within their life that seems like it's becoming too much and just overbearing and it's taking up too much time and all of their energy, how would you advise someone in that situation to come to you if they are thinking of quitting whatever it is, their project, their company? How would you advise them around?
Because a lot of that's done down to emotion, because actually it becomes, once you're running a project, you become emotionally attached to that project. If you are emotionally attached to that project, it's quite easy for it to engulf you and for it to overwork you, where you actually have to step back, reevaluate it and look at it. It's a project. So if this is a problem, where are the solutions? And there is a solution. And once you evaluate that and look at it constructively, you have to evaluate things and then take the emotion out of it. For mind's sake,
it's a difficult thing to do.
It's a very difficult thing, but you have to take the emotion out of it and actually, then you can go forward. So it's a re-evaluation, because everything's a problem. It's just a matter of you finding a solution. And you can only find a solution if you admit it's a problem. If you run on emotions, we all need to run on emotions. I run on emotions on Cloud, but sometimes I cut myself off my emotions, because there's an aspect of it that you can't take that emotion with you. You have to be more level-headed. So it's the matter of you sitting back and re-evaluating it, and not just making a snap decision where I'm going to close this, because it might not be right. But if you re-evaluate it and reset things up in it, it could be right. It's hard, when you start something, it's hard to let that go, but I'm not saying that you will always find a solution. But if you evaluate it and then you put it down to, not instinct, but you put it down to cold, hard facts, and then you show it, that's a good reason. Because if you just show it because it's becoming too much and it's affecting you emotionally, then you're closing it for an emotional period. And if you close something for an emotional period, you're never going to get rid of that emotion. You're going to feel like you've fucked up and you failed.
Yeah.
But if the realism is it's financially not worth it, or this is not worth it, or that's not worth it, you run up pros and cons on it, then you have a right to either carry on or a right to shut. But it becomes less emotion and more practicality. And you've got to be practical when you're running a business or running a project. You have to be practical. Emotions are great because they keep you going, but it's the whole thing. When you start something, you've got first 2 years are a joy. It's a honeymoon. You're running on emotion, you're running on thing, and actually your first win is amazing because you've got to win, and then you carry on and you carry on and carry on. But it's then the practicality of like where you stay as a business, and do I grow or do I stay still or do I think? And the natural thing for everybody is to grow. But growth is not always right. Growth is not always right. You can grow without growing in the matter of members. You can, because as soon as you're at a certain level of people that you have, your costs go up, they don't go down. And people think, oh, the more people I've got, the more money I have. Bollocks, it's not like that. It's so not like that. Because actually, there's a period where you hit a level and you add that one more person, and the cost effectively of having that one person outweighs the money that you're going to derive from that person. So it's not feasible. And I think that's a big, big learning curve that you have to look at. And also you have to reevaluate what you're doing. I reevaluate every quarter. I reevaluate everything every quarter. Not so I can shift and make a change, but I need to reevaluate everything. So I get rid of my emotions every quarter to go through everything. So is this working? Is it feasible? Is it not feasible? Do you know what I mean? What do I need to, I want to do that, but what do I need to change to make sure that happens? And then by doing that, it allows me to shift when I need to shift, be quite lean when I need to be lean on it, but it gives me a proper vision on everything, which is what I want. And then at those points, I'm not emotional. Because if something is not working, even though it is great and I love doing it, it's gone.
Yeah. Because
it's gonna affect the things that are working.
It's really refreshing to hear your answer to that, and I resonate with it a lot, because the whole philosophy you talked about there is kind of what I applied to my own business when I was losing all my staff and it was all collapsing, and just evaluating what I was going to do, how I was going to move forward. So it's nice to hear from someone I see is so wise to say the same thing that I was thinking back at that time.